I experienced this in my life, and that's how I learned how to become a healer. And I call it the healer's journey. And what I went through, and what I'm going to talk about in a minute, is about what you've gone through as a healer. And this helps you know what your calling is. And I'll give you a piece of paper to explain that. So if you look at the page, the colour page, because I like colours, because I like it's colourful. If I want you to look at the page it's got called the healer's journey. So, I'm going to go through this with you, talking about my journey. Right? You'll see at the top there it says the J curve. The J is like this. Okay, the J curve shows a reading at the top there. Shows that our life journey is what makes us a healer, so we can appreciate our struggles as to what they taught us, so we can help others. If you want to know what your calling is, look at what you've gone through in your life. Right? Does that make sense? Because what you've gone through in your life and you discover solutions is how you help other people. Right? And before I talk about mine, I'll talk about a couple of my clients just so you understand the point I'm getting to. There's a lady in California. This lady is probably one of the most grateful people I've ever met. She's a trauma coach. So guess what she went through? Trauma. How can you help someone with trauma if you haven't been through it? Both her parents were addicts. Her dad was an alcoholic, violent, and mum couldn't deal with that, so mum was actually addicted to drugs. She told me that when she was a little kid, she used to walk down to the mall, like 2 or 3 years old, to talk to people because her parents weren't actually present, energetically speaking. Yeah? One of the clients I work with in Peru, an Indian lady, her mother had sold her as a sex slave, which is quite a big thing in India, if you're not aware of that in India, right? People sell their kids because it's for the money, right? Now, she had a lot of issues around that. A lot of anger towards men, towards the mother, a lot of sadness going on, right? When I helped her realise that why she went through that was because that's what she's came to the planet for, is to help change that system. She became a lawyer, and now she's back in India helping change the system. Now, she understands what those women are going through because she went through it. Does that make sense? Now, a lot of people have shame about their journey and go, I can't help people because look what I went through. No, what you went through is perfect so you help other people. Does that make sense? I call it your SOS, your story of struggle. Becomes your story of strength, SOS. So I'm going to explain your mind. Does that make sense in a general way? So as I'm talking about this, you might relate to your journey. How can you help people? Because I can tell you, your clients are going to be like you. Well, you better like yourself. Yeah. But the good news is, you know how to help them because you've been through it. Yeah. So let's start with trauma. That's the first stage. Quite often we have traumas when we're kids. Yeah. And this is part of our journey. We have traumas, right? Because then we block our essence, right? My trauma as a kid, I had a very dominating person around me when I was younger, and I felt very disempowered. I didn't feel acknowledged for who I was, and I didn't feel like I fitted into the world. I got punished a lot, and I thought, this is a crazy world. What's going on here? I used to build energetic pyramids and talk to the universe, which I thought everyone did until I went to school. And I kept thinking, how crazy is this world? Why are all these people doing these weird things, trying to control me and not acknowledge me for who I am and trying to tell you, you've got to be a good little boy by doing this? That would totally traumatise me as a kid. And I felt totally disempowered. And when you have a trauma, what you tend to do is have a lot of negative thoughts. Like, I don't feel safe. I think there's a crazy world. All those negative thoughts you have, and that creates an energy. I call it an entity, right? And you create these negative energies, right? And you disconnect from your soul because you don't believe you can help the world. That's what we do. We disconnect from our soul. And then what we do, we go through down side of the J curve, which is a struggle. Because I'm disconnected going, I had issues with people in authority because I thought, yeah, authority people try and control me. So I had fears around police and teachers and everybody, right? And I thought it was a really, really crazy world, because I'm thinking, why aren't people fitting in? Why are people trying to fit into the world and sacrifice themselves rather than be who they really are? Because I could really connect to people, right? So I really struggled as a teenager. I was suicidal as a teenager. I had migraine headaches. Do you know why? Because I was thinking so much, going, why is this so crazy and why am I here? Why am I in this world again? That's why I was suicidal as a teenager, yeah? That was part of my struggles. And I didn't realise that was part of my journey. Then what we do is we have an emergency, right? Which is like the bottom point. That's when you hit rock bottom. I like the word emerge and see. See, an emergency is to wake you up. Yeah? Some people are waiting for, you know, like Snow White, people are waiting for a prince to come and kiss you. But it's usually not a prince or a princess, it's usually an emergency, like a major drama in your life to say you can't do what you want to do anymore. Yeah? Now, I help a lot of people get out of the corporate world because to them that's an emergency. Yeah? But one of the ladies who did a course recently, right, I helped her realise that she actually was in the corporate world to be a corporate actress, because it's also acting. And she's writing a book now called The Corporate Actress. And her business is called The Conscious Corporate Actress. So guess what her role is getting people out of the corporate world. That's why she was in it. To feel the pain of it, perfect for her. Perfect training. Yeah? My emergency was in 1996. And I was really blocked. If you want to go to the toilet, go through here.
Thank you.
Yeah. I picked up my telepathic message. And turn left. See, most people aren't telepathic. Which I find really weird, because I find telepathy is an amazing skill. Yeah? Because I can talk to babies in the womb. Like Kirsty, who runs the centre here, I got a message one night from her baby, even before it was born, and I passed it on to her and I said, your baby's got a lot of fear about something you're going on in your life, and your baby wants you to clear it before it actually comes into your body. Yeah? And if you want to work with kids, you've got to be telepathic, because that's their main ability. If you're not telepathic, that's why I help open people up to their magical abilities, like telepathy. Yeah? Because most kids are telepathic. Kids talk to him all the time. Thoughts, yeah? Right. So the emergency I had in 1996. And I was really asleep, so I'd have 3 big ones. I call it the triple whammy, to really wake me up. I was teaching at university at the time. Yeah? I quite like teaching. I won a National Teaching Award. I enjoyed the students. But I hated the university because, you know, it was like most people at university are really hiding from the world. You know what I mean? And it was just, I'm really creative and playful, and they didn't like me trying to change things. Yeah? So it was like I was hitting my head against like a brick wall. That was number one, right? Second thing is I had a broken love affair, which really hit me because I was sacrificing myself to try and get love. And that never works, does it? Yeah? And the third one, which is probably the biggest one, was that one of my friends was in a car accident and he almost died. And when I went to hospital and saw him, like he had this metal bar through his leg to hold his leg together. And I almost fainted. I couldn't I was fainting. I was really having difficulty actually being present. And after I walked out of that hospital, this is in Adelaide, I went to the Botanical Gardens, which is next to the hospital. And that sort of shocked me. And I sat in the Botanical Gardens in pain. And I'm going, that could have been me. Because he was drunk, right? And I realised I was binge drinking then, and I'm going, that could have been me. And I thought, do I still want to do this, what I'm really doing in my life? And I thought, no. And then this really weird thing happened. I started getting these voices, and I thought, who's here? And I realised the roses were talking to me. And the roses said to me, you've got to love yourself. That's what roses are about, love, right? And the roses said to me, no, you got to love yourself. But I thought, who's here? And then I realised it was the roses talking to me, right? See, some people, if I said this out in the world, most people think I'm weird. Yeah? But if you're not talking to roses, I call you weird. Yeah? Because everything's got a consciousness, right? And I realised that day I had to change my life. Because I was in so much pain. Pain drives people. They say there's 2 ways to paradise. Pleasure can pull you or pain can push you. Most people aren't connected to the pleasure because they're disconnected and they're on their iPhones and they're doing all this stuff, watching TV and doing these things, right? And they aren't connected to their pleasure, so pain's going to push them. Yeah? Pain is okay. Pain's got a reason to wake you up. It's like an emergency. If you've got enough pain, you'll shift. Yeah? So I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm going to go and resign from university. I got put in long service leave that day. I never went back. And I actually said, I'm going to go do some healing to heal myself. That's what I did. Said, right? And when I started healing, I actually started to working on other people, and I was mainly doing it for myself to get clear. So I didn't create having car accidents and stuff. I was getting amazing feedback from clients saying, that's amazing what you're doing. Because I found it so easy to connect to people. And what it did is open me up to my magical abilities. Right? And I thought, this is amazing. And in 1 week, 6 clients said to me, can we learn what you do? And I thought, well, the universe is sending me a message, so I created a course. Yeah? I didn't even know I was going to teach, and I thought I'm just going to trust. And I ran this course 1 night a week for 6 weeks. I didn't know I was going to teach, I just trusted. And those people shifted massively, and I thought, well, this is what the universe asked me to do. Right? And that's how it started for me. Yeah? So I went through all these issues about fear about leaving work. That's why I was at university for a long time. I thought, no, I can't be in that anymore. I can't. It's too painful for me. Yeah? But you know what happened when I walked out of that university? It freaked out all the people around me. You know what I realised? Because I was bringing up their stuff. You know, they say there's 3 types of dreamers. Dream makers, dream fakers, and dream takers. And a lot of people are dream takers. Yeah? And they'll say, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't go to South America. Okay, why not? Because my intuition's telling me. Because all their fears are coming up. Yeah? So I had to tell people, shut up, I'm not interested, because my intuition's telling me I'm going to do this. People say, what, you're leaving university as a professor to go and actually do natural therapy. Are you crazy? No, I said, you're crazy because you're doing work that you don't like for things you don't need. Yeah? So you've got to get into that power inside of you to know, I've got to do this. That's why you've got to know your calling. Yeah? Then I didn't really know that. I just felt this passion for myself. But if I help people connect to why they want to be a healer, that actually gives them that incentive because they've got the pleasure to pull them rather than the pain. Does that make sense? So I went all through this issue about my clarity and who I am. And because at that time, the universe was actually giving voluntary redundancies, which I thought, that's cool, the universe is going to look after me. So I took one. Yeah? And for 1.5 years, I did 1,000 hours of courses, which is equivalent to about a 4-year degree, I realised. And I did all these courses on healing and whatever, and I didn't really know how they fit all together and stuff, and just play with all the energies. And I started building up ideas about how to do it, right? How to do healing, how it works. And then that was 20 years ago, 1996. Yeah? And I've been in a professional healer ever since. And I've helped transform people's lives from 50 countries. Yeah, including working in an ayahuasca centre. Who's heard of ayahuasca? Yeah, we're in an ayahuasca centre in Peru with shamans there. Yeah, and met people from all around the world. Got some amazing results with people. So I know what I've worked with and what I discovered, and I realised what my calling was. And you know what it was? To help empower people, because I was disempowered as a boy. I know what it feels like to be disempowered, where you feel a little small and all these people dominate you. I did this video, right, called How to Handle Dominating People. That got 800 views on YouTube or something. And I go, well, that's what people want to know from me. See? Now I've actually created a free course on it, which if you wrote your email down, I'm going to send it to you. It's a free course. Because you know what? I know the answers to that. You know why? Because I went through it. I know what it's like to get bullied at school, because you know what? I was. And you know who gets bullied at school? The magical kids. They do. And you know why? Because people are scared of them. Not even consciously. They go, that person's a bit different. And they know the magical kids can tell you what's going on for you. That's why. So people try and control them. That's why I'm great with working with magical kids as well. So if I work with magical kids who are being controlled by people, I do not let those controlling parents get away with it. I had this 7-year-old, this is probably one of my most beautiful clients, right? She was 7 years old and she had all these allergies. She could hardly eat anything. Now, I know this is your power chakra. It had nothing to do with food. I knew that she was being controlled, and I knew who it was. And she was there with her mother, and I thought I'd be diplomatic here. And I said, "Is your dad controlling you?" She goes, she was 7 years old, right? I said, "Is it your mother?" And she goes, she did it really quickly. And her mother was controlling her, right? Now, this kid was so magical. And I said, "Tell me about what's going on." And all the time, her mum tried to interrupt her, which is what she does in life, right? This little girl told me about, I tell my mum about her brother, who died 23 years ago. She was 7, remember? All intimate details about what they did as a kid. And she told her mum, his name was James, she goes, "James sometimes comes into the cat and talks to me and tells me everything about you." And mum kept saying, you don't know that, you don't know that. But she does. She was such a magical kid, like really amazing. So I realised the session wasn't about her, it was about her mother. So after about 15 minutes, right, I said, "Okay, Jody, you can just go in the back." And she was in the background and she could tell what was going on. She created that illness to bring her mother to me. Yeah. So I talked to her mother, and I was just being totally direct to her mother. Do you know why? Because I feel the pain if when you're not acknowledged as a magical kid, because I went through it. Yeah? So I wasn't going to let that mother get away with this because I knew she was a really magical kid, right? And I really brought up stuff to her mother, and mum was crying, and her mum did decide to make changes in her life. Yeah? Jody in the background, she drew these 2 beautiful angels because they had wings on my whiteboard in my consulting room. And underneath she said, "Paul and Jody." And she turned around to her mother and she said, "Mum, Paul and I are angels." That's what she said. Come from the angelic realm, right? And she knew that. Now, within a couple of weeks, all of her allergies went away. Every single one of them. And I just feel that beauty of helping that person change their life. That's what being a healer is. There's a lady who finished my course about 2 months ago, and she's actually just now starting earning money. You know, I get them to do free sessions for a couple of months. She rang me up the other day and she said, "Paul, I did a couple of paid sessions when I was in Sydney, and when I saw these people change, I realised what you mean now by what it feels like when you help people connect to their essence. What else would you want to do in your life? It's like amazing to help people get that connection to who they are." She felt it when she did these sessions, right? So what you do is you go through an emergency, you reconnect. If you can look at number 4, right? You go through a soul reconnection. You connect to who you are. That's part of a healing journey, number 4. You look in the mirror. Healing is looking in the mirror. It's going inside. Because you know what most people do? They look outside for external gratification. Most people define themselves by the outer world. If you ask somebody, "Who are you?" you know what most people say? "I got this job, I got this car, this house, this relationship," whatever. It's actually got nothing to do with who you are. Who you are is what you are inside. Does that make sense? So you go on an inner journey to find out who you really are. It's like reconnecting to yourself. And by doing that, you find out what your abilities are, who you are, your inherent abilities. Then you find solutions, like I did. I found solutions of how to empower people. So who feels that J-curve is quite a powerful thing to do, right? And you can go away and look at that. You can go away and look at what traumas have I had in my life, and what struggles have I gone through, and what have been the major emergencies I've gone through. What have you learnt from your life that you could help somebody else with? Who's learnt one thing in their life? Well, you can go and help people. That's where you get self-worth. See, I know all my clients who come to me want to know something about how to empower themselves. Do I know that? Yeah, because I went through it and I can help them. That's where you get your self-worth and confidence. And the clarity of who you are. That's how you get this. That's why this is irrelevant. But you've got to learn how to connect yourself at a deep level. That's why when I train people, like they do an 8-week course, they don't do healing till week 6. You know, most people, like when I was learning, they teach me all these techniques which are amazing, but I didn't know who I was as a healer, and I didn't really know, how do I work with clients? What do I do when a client comes to me? I had no idea. Because I didn't have clarity or confidence, and therefore I didn't, when I started off, I wasn't creating many clients because I didn't know who I was. Yeah? But if you know who you are, based on your journey, and what you can offer people based on what you've discovered, that gives you confidence and clarity to help people. Because I know every person who comes to me is looking to be empowered in some way. Yeah? The lady just finished the last course. She's great working with mothers with problems with their teenage daughters, because guess what? That's what she's got. She's had this magical teenage daughter, and she knows how to deal with that, and she knows how to help other mothers with the same issue. That's her clientele. That's her ideal client. Perfect. Does that give her confidence? Absolutely. And clarity. Because she knows how to work with them. Yeah? Because they all like her. That's why you've got to love yourself. But you've got to love your journey. Because you know, most people, they don't understand creation, and therefore they judge their experience and say, oh, I went through this hard shit. No, that was training for you to be a healer. I like the saying, a smooth sea never made a great sailor. You don't become a great sailor with smooth seas, you have rough seas. So all the obstacles you go through in your life, you'd be very grateful for them, even though it's painful at the time, because it teaches you a lot. So if you're going through issues around money, guess what? That probably means that you're going to have clients like that. So be grateful. Like that lady who's a corporate actress. She's writing a book, and I know that book is going to be world famous. She's going to make it into a movie, and she helps all these other corporate actresses, because it's acting, yeah? But she knows it from the inside the heart, because she lived it. She knows the pain of trying to be a woman in a masculine world of people on their heads not feeling, and having all these ridiculous illusions around money and stuff, and working 80 hours a week. See, humans think they're intelligent. We're actually not in a high, I had this discussion with him, right? We're not in a, I don't believe we're in a high awareness. I believe a lot of humans have got a lower consciousness than animals. And that's not judging. It's that how many animals work 80 hours a week, don't have time for lunch, yeah, and work when it's really hot and 40 degrees. Animals don't do that, yeah. Because I know from past times, because I lived in Atlantis and lived in Egypt and various places where there's really high awareness and people using telepathy and a whole range of techniques to use, right? And that's what I call high awareness for me. But we live in a society where a lot of people are sick and a lot of people are unhappy. How can you say there's a high level of awareness? I wouldn't say it's a high level of awareness. That's why I look at awareness, not based on technology, based on where people are at.